What's up, guys? How's it going? It's been a super long day today, but I'm ready to kind of chill and hang out. I of course, as always, have some things that I want to talk about, and a lot of them are going to be techniques. So, techniques for inducing an out of body experience, and techniques for inducing a lucid dream, and even better sleep, because a lot of us struggle with going to sleep, right? A lot of us will have insomnia, or a lot of us will be dealing with something where we just physically cannot get to sleep. So, I'm going to be talking about tips on how to have a better sleep as well. So, that's one of the many things we're going to talk about. And then I'm also offering readings for $10. So I posted my PayPal link in there. Feel free to do that if that resonates with you. If not, just come in, hang out, be a part of the conversation. Hey, what's up, Kelly? Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining. So I definitely had, let's see, some things I wanted to touch on first. And then if you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to tune in, ask them in the comments. I am always happy to connect with all of you. Hello, Kira. Thanks for joining. Hello, everyone. So perfect, Kelly. Sounds good. We're hanging out. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is out-of-body experiences. So if there's anyone who's had an out-of-body experience, maybe you had one, maybe you didn't know what it was, or maybe you want to learn how to induce them, I'm going to give you my best tips on how to have one, and it's actually super, super incredible. Anybody can experience these states, and they are the foundation of a lot of the healing that we go through in our day-to-day lives. So, and that's where most of my healing has come from, is these altered states of consciousness. So I'm going to tell you guys how to experience them, and then how to get better sleep as well. Thanks, Kira. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. It's really awesome to see all you guys here. So for anyone who doesn't know what an out-of-body experience is, an out-of-body experience is where our consciousness can physically separate from our physical body. And so this is similar to a lucid dream. It definitely can be dream-like, but it is definitely a different state of awareness. Out-of-body experiences, it can't even be tracked in the brain. You can see when someone goes lucid based on their brain waves, but in the out-of-body experience, it's proven to be something separate because it can't actually be tracked in the brain. And that's interesting because it's actually not happening in the brain. Our consciousness is projected outside of our physical body. So if there's anyone who's interested in experiencing that, I'm going to give you the best technique that I have, and it does involve sleep paralysis. As we talked about before, sleep paralysis is an amazing gateway to be able to get to. A lot of people will try for months and months and months in order to get to this vibrational state. But if you already experience sleep paralysis, I know a lot of people just think it's something that they suffer from, and they just want to try to get out of it as quick as you can. And I always tell them, oh my God, you have so much potential. You can experience so many things through this practice. And so I want to tell you guys, if you ever are in a random sleep paralysis experience, how to change it into a lucid dream or an out-of-body state, or if you want to learn how to induce that state, if you're not one of the lucky ones that experiences it spontaneously, then this is something you can try. So let's talk about out-of-body experience. We talk about a lot about lucid dreaming, which I absolutely love, and I feel like the out-of-body state deserves a little more love because it's something that can't even be proven in science. And it is something that is super, super, super crazy to experience. So if any of you have experienced it so far, you know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Kelly says, I've gotten where I can go back to where I was in a dream and go about in it. Yeah, a lot of us will have a regular dream, but if we can go back to sleep, we actually go right back into REM sleep, which is when we dream. So we can actually go back and make it a lucid dream just by waking up, bringing that awareness with us, and going back into the dream will create lucidity. So there's tons and tons of techniques and tons of methods that we can go over on how to induce lucid dreams. And if any of you guys have questions about that, feel free to leave them in the comments for me, and I'll make sure to get to them. But the out-of-body experience, it seems like it will be something hard to experience, right? I mean, you might think, oh, I need to be spiritual, or I need to, have this certain practice to experience it. And the good thing is, even if you're not spiritual, you definitely don't have to have one of those certain practices to experience it, even though it can be helpful because it deals with our energy. And when we're astral projecting, we're using our energy body to get, to have the experience, right? So it's definitely important to ground yourself and kind of create a stable energy so you can get out. Because a lot of people, if they are angry or they're stressed, they can have an out-of-body experience. It might not be as fulfilling and vivid as a regular one, but it's a lot easier to experience these states when we have a clear vessel of energy. We are grounded, we feel good, we feel inspired, and that's the state I try to get in before I have an out-of-body experience. So try to make sure that you're in a good energetic state before you experience this. But if you have a random sleep paralysis experience and you want to see how to make use of it, then this would be an amazing thing to try. So let's start with inducing out-of-body or inducing sleep paralysis. Who has had sleep paralysis in here and it was just completely terrifying? Have any of you guys experienced that? Because I know back in the day I have. We don't really know what's happening when we're in sleep paralysis, right? It's kind of scary sometimes. Well, if you experience it randomly, then this will be super, super, super easy for you. So first step, go to sleep. We have to get some of our sleep out of the way. Hello, Eduardo. How's it going? Thanks for joining. We have to get some of our sleep out of the way because we're going to be too tired. We're just going to fall asleep if we try to induce one of these states before we have our sleep. And we do have, hey, Jessica, what's up? Good to see you here. And we do have sleep cycles we go through, right? I mean, we start in light sleep, then we go into deep restful sleep, restorative sleep, we go back into REM sleep. It's a whole cycle. It keeps going, right? And so we need to get a lot of our deep sleep out of the way so it's not interfering with our practice that requires a lot of awareness. Awesome, Simon. So if you've ever experienced that, I can teach you how to get into those states again, and you'll be able to induce sleep paralysis at will, which means that you can induce out-of-body experiences and lucid dreams at will. So being able to induce out of, altered states of consciousness at will is a pretty cool skill, you guys. That's pretty cool that not a majority of people can do. So if you can learn how to do that, it will completely change your life. So the first step is going to sleep. The next step is very, very, very important. You want to make sure that you are in the correct stage of sleep. So after you go to sleep, you have two options. I would recommend waking up after 4.5 to 6 hours of sleep. So set your alarm for that. Or you can wake up 2 hours before you would normally wake up. So doing this, you're bound to hit REM somewhere. REM stands for rapid eye movement stage of sleep, and that is the stage in which we sleep and we dream. So not sleep, of course we sleep through it, but it's the stage in which we dream and experience sleep paralysis. There we go. And so targeting this REM stage, if you wake up directly from a dream, has anyone done that where you wake up and you just woke up from a dream and it was super, super vivid? If you've ever done that, that means that you were in REM. So if you went back to sleep after you woke up directly from a dream, you'd most likely be able to go back into the dream. And if you practiced a lucid dreaming technique, you can most likely create a lucid dream out of it. So it's kind of cool. Even if you wake up and you're like, damn it, I remembered my dreams. I just barely woke up from a dream, but I didn't lucid dream. You can always go back to bed and just meditate. And since you just barely had a sleeping period, your body is going to be able to fall asleep really easily, but your mind already had all that deep sleep. So it's going to keep that awareness, and then you'll be able to experience sleep paralysis. So super, 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 super beneficial, you guys. Set an alarm if you have to, because if we get way too much sleep, our body's not going to be able to relax, right? So we need to keep the half awake, half asleep state. Maybe wake up when you're feeling a little bit tired, kind of groggy, but you definitely knew you got enough sleep, but you could definitely sleep a few hours more if you wanted. You want to be in that state because, then we can keep that awareness and bring it in. So after you after you go to sleep, you set your alarm for 4.5 to 5 hours, or after sleep, or 2.5 hours, 2 hours before you usually wake up. There's so many times going around. I'm trying to get it all figured out. One thing is everyone's is going to be different. So don't just go off of the exact time I say, like, okay, I have to wake up exactly after 4.5 hours of sleep or exactly 2 hours before I wake up. No, it's going to be different for everybody. So if any of you don't have a journal to write your dreams down, that's the first step. You need to get a dream journal, because not only is it helping your dream recall, it's also helping you recognize your dream signs, which we can use to get lucid, and it also tells you what times you're dreaming at, because in your dream journal you have the date and you have the time down. So it's going to tell you when you're in REM sleep usually, and we can use that to get lucid. So after you wake up, before you usually wake up, you're going to have to kind of figure out the time. Just play around with it. Set it for 4.5 hours the first night. Maybe try to get up after 6 hours of sleep the next night. Kind of play around with it. You're going to stay up for 15 minutes. You're going to stay up for 15 to 30 minutes, okay? And you're not going to engage with your phone or your laptop or your TV or any of that, because the blue light within technology actually stimulates our brain, which makes it extremely hard to go back to sleep. So we want to make it super easy for ourselves. We want to just maybe write in a journal, maybe read a book, maybe do some affirmations and affirm that you're going to have an out-of-body experience or a lucid dream when you go back to bed. And then after that 30 minutes, you're still going to be tired, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to lay in a position that you normally would not sleep in. So for me, I usually sleep on my side. But if I meditate on my back, hey Lyndon, what's up? If I meditate on my back, I will normally go into sleep paralysis because my body's relaxing, right? Because we just woke up from sleep, so it's going to be easily able to relax again. But my body is not used to sleeping on my back. So I'm going to have a sliver of awareness in my mind, which will not put me in a deep sleep. It will keep me in a very light sleep, which is exactly what you want. What also works for me is laying backwards on my bed. So where my pillow usually is, my feet will be. And this kind of messes with your perception, which makes it easier to go out of body, because you can concentrate and visualize that you're laying in bed the right way, but you're actually not. So you're shifting your perception of consciousness to another point in your room. Even if it's just, right there, you're changing where your consciousness is being perceived at, if that makes sense. So if you practice an out-of-body state and you imagine standing on the side of the room, but you're really in bed and you really, really vividly imagine being somewhere else, your consciousness is going to shift into your energy body, and it will seem like you wake up and you will be at the point that you were imagining. So that's how you can tell that you've separated. So it's super, super, super cool. And it's really easy once you get the techniques down. So once you go back to bed, this is when the sleep paralysis kicks in, you guys. So you're going to lay on your back. I put a sleep mask on, but you can also use like a t-shirt, a headband, whatever, just so your eyes, it appears dark, because this creates natural melatonin. So this is also going to help you guys sleep as well. If any of you have trouble sleeping, I'd recommend blacking out your room, making it as dark as you can, or using some sort of sleep mask or something to cover your eyes. So in this state, I'm laying on my back. I have my sleeping mask on, and I'm going to take 3 deep breaths. I take 1 really deep breath, and I exhale, and I imagine sinking into my bed, and I do that 2 more times. After that, don't take any more deep breaths. The reason why we don't want to keep breathing really deep is because we want to trick our body into thinking that we are asleep. And so in order to do that, we have to let the body breathe like it wants to breathe. And it will usually breathe a little bit shallow when you're going to sleep, because our diaphragm actually doesn't need to take in as much air when we're going to sleep. So it's not someone pushing on your chest, which I'm sure you've heard a million times through sleep paralysis. It's not someone like holding you down. It's just because we don't need to take in as much air when we're going to sleep. And so our diaphragm slightly collapses. So let yourself breathe completely normal. It might be a little bit light, a little bit shallow. Just let it go. You're totally fine. You're not going to suffocate, I promise. And then we're going to try to hold as still as possible, but not like tense up your body. You're going to energetically let go. And if you need to move around a little bit at first, get comfortable, definitely do it. But you're going to reach a point where you definitely want to hold still, because you're going to be noticing your body falling asleep. And here's some of the symptoms of your body falling asleep. You're going to feel a heaviness on your body. If you've ever felt like there was like weights holding down your body, that's a sign your body's going to sleep. For me, I get a wave of cold chills. I get a huge wave of cold chills down my body. And the reason why I get that is because our body temperature naturally drops as well when we're going into sleep, because we don't need to have as much heat in our body. And so it will naturally drop its temperature. So that's a sign for me that my body is going into sleep paralysis, when I feel that very heavy feeling all over my body. And then I feel that wave of cold chills go down my body. So we're getting super close here. So the next thing that you're really going to want to try is to set a focal point in your mind. So don't move your eyes around, because this is telling your body, hey, I'm actually awake. Don't put me in sleep paralysis. So you're going to want to hold very still and create a fixed point with your eyes closed. And you're not just going to want to look at the blackness behind your eyes, you guys. You want to see depth in it. Imagine looking through a forest or looking into the depth of something. You're going to start to see that within your eyes. It's not just going to look like a black screen. You're going to be able to see depth inside of it, and it's going to be really, really, really cool. So once you get to that point, you're almost there. You're going to start dipping in and out of sleep. So you'll start to get random thoughts and images that might not be yours. You might start to see dream images come in and out. Like for me, the other day I was doing this meditation, and then I just saw two people sitting on a bench, and then it moved to a family having dinner at the table, and you can tell that's your dream content being created. So when you start to receive random thoughts and random downloads when you're in this meditative state, you can tell that you're falling into sleep because your brain is processing dream information. And as long as you stay conscious, once it's done processing, you'll be able to go into the dream consciously. So create that awareness as you're falling asleep, and start to think about either depending on if you want to have an out-of-body experience or a lucid dream. If you want to have an out-of-body experience, do what I said before and imagine you either rolling out of bed or standing somewhere else. For me, I imagine rolling out of my body. The reason why I do that is because I know what it feels like to get out of bed, right? I know every single morning what it feels like to roll out of bed. So I can make that super vivid in my mind. I can create the super strong visualization around it and the very strong sensation around exactly what it feels like. This tricks your brain into thinking you're actually getting out of bed when you make it super real, because your brain can't tell the difference between imaginary or waking life. So when you physically, as physically as you can, imagine doing something, it's going to trick your brain into thinking it's actually happening, and you'll be able to get out of body that way. It's crazy, crazy, crazy how it works, but that's exactly how it works. And then if you want to experience a lucid dream from that state, you're the creator. What do you want to experience? What's one thing that you want to experience in the lucid dream? Is it healing? Is it visiting a past loved one? Is it talking to your subconscious? Is it going to your dream place? Is it rewiring bad habits, thought patterns, addictions? What do you want to do? Because it's completely unlimited. You can even get advice or creativity, get insight on your life, anything that you want. Set an intention of what you want to experience and manifest what it would look like. So for me, I'm walking down the forest, I'm barefoot, I can feel the dirt between my toes, I'm putting my hand on the trees, I can feel the bark super vividly, and I'm going to walk myself through the whole experience while I'm going to, in this meditation, trying to put myself in the lucid dream. And again, this is creating an experience that's so real for the brain that when your dreams are done processing and you stop seeing all those images, you're ready to go into the dream. And since the dream is a thought responsive state, your thoughts are going to influence your dream from there. So as long as you can keep that awareness, you're going to be able to go into a lucid dream consciously from there. So that's basically called the wake back to bed, but it's also mixed with the wild technique, if any of you know that. So the wake back to bed, you usually wake up after sleep, and then you just go back to bed with an intention. But I like to use the wild technique, which is wake-induced lucid dream, which is where you just meditate directly from a waking state and go right into it without having any sleep. I combine the two. So I get some sleep, I wake up, I stay up for 15 minutes, and then I go meditate instead of going back to sleep. And I notice when I do that, I will have random out-of-body experiences and random lucid dreams. And so it's super, super powerful. So I would definitely recommend trying that, you guys. If you want to learn how to induce sleep paralysis or induce one of these altered states of consciousness, definitely try it. Definitely let me know if you have any questions. Super, super powerful. And that's how I have most of my experiences. And I'm sure you guys have heard all about the stuff that I've been able to do through lucid dreaming and the people that I've worked with that have been able to accomplish through lucid dreaming. But if you're suffering from anxiety or depression or even PTSD, reoccurring nightmares, sleeping troubles, health troubles, it's completely unlimited. We are in contact with 95% of our brain in the dream, which is our subconscious. When we're awake, we only use 5% of our brain. Isn't that crazy, you guys? Right now, we're only using 5% of our brain. We think there's so much information in there, right? We think we use way more of our brain than we actually do, but only in the dreaming state and very, very deep hypnosis states are we able to reach the 95% of our brain, which is our subconscious. And so since we're in contact with our subconscious, this is where all our fears lie, our phobias, our thought patterns, our addictions, our habits, everything we want to work on. And it's super cool because you don't have to do a lot of work to get rid of your anxiety or to get rid of your physical pain or to get rid of your insomnia. You literally ask the dream to bring you your insomnia or your anxiety. Like, I want to meet my anxiety. I want to meet my inner anger. I want to meet my inner child. And what the dream will actually do is it will create a dream character that represents your anxiety or your inner anger or your insomnia. And you can actually talk to it, say, hey, when did this start? When did the root cause of my insomnia start? I would like to release this now. And you will actually wake up after you've rewired your brain, and you will be able to sleep a lot better the next night or whatever you want to use it for. So it's super easy and the quickest way that I found to rewire your brain and completely heal and transform your life. So you can do anything through lucid dreaming and out-of-body experiences. It's incredible, but what altered states of consciousness can do. Yeah, Michael. Yeah, of course. It's definitely a little tough when you're starting out with inducing an out-of-body experience, but there's just a few simple techniques that we can use, that we can induce these states anytime we want to. So if you even want to message me and talk to me about it, that would be super cool. I'd love to give you some techniques and tips on how to induce them more frequently. And then once we've created a habit of awareness and our brain has learned how to get out of our body or how to get lucid a lot easier, it will start to happen spontaneously. So the most work you guys have to put into it is learning the skill. And then it's like playing guitar or singing or painting. It might be a little hard when you start, right? But as soon as you learn how to do it, you can do it effortlessly. And that's how these states can be as well. So it's super, super beneficial. Yes, Lyndon, especially with fears. It definitely works with fears. The thing I like about this lucid dreaming state specifically is any nightmare we have, it's not just a nightmare. We don't want to run away from it, you guys. That's the one thing that I want to touch base on. We do not want to run away from the nightmares, because the nightmares represent our shadow side of ourselves, and our shadow is everything we deny, suppress, or disown. And so this is maybe memories that we had when we were a child. Maybe we were told when we were younger that no one likes a smartass and intelligence shouldn't be shown to anyone else. And so that created a shadow part of ourselves. Intelligence is now in our shadow. So it's not necessarily negative things, but it's things that we were denying, suppressing, disowning, or even taught to push away and not think about. So this could be anything. So when you try to forget about something or try to leave something in the past or something like that, it's not really disappearing. It's just storing itself in the subconscious. So when we go into a lucid dream, we can actually bring up that information and let it go, instead of just storing all of this stuff in our subconscious that we don't need. And it's very powerful, you guys. It's not any like woo-woo stuff. Like, I have used it to cure my insomnia, addiction, PTSD, anxiety, depression, and physical pain. So I had gastritis, IBS, ulcers, esophagitis. As many of you know, I had so much pain every single day. I would not be able to literally do anything. I could not even work. I would take 8 medications. I was always in the ER. I tried to see the best doctors, and nothing would work. But I was able to actually meet my stomach pain in my lucid dream, completely heal it. And since the dream can't tell if it's actually happening or you're awake, placebo effect kicks in, which, as many of you know, placebo effect is the only medical cure to all conditions in medical history. Placebo effect has been able to cure everything in medical history. And we actually have direct contact with placebo. We actually, have direct contact with placebo effect within the lucid dream, so we can use that and also rewire our brain, which is super powerful. And even if you just want to use it for fun, you guys, we can even just practice skills within the lucid dream. And since our brain is actually active in those states, we're actually learning. We're actually learning when we're in our lucid dream, and we can wake up with increased skill. So as to touch on your question, Lyndon, with the shadow work, what we need to do is we need to get lucid in our nightmares. Now, that might sound terrifying to someone. Oh my God, why would I want to get lucid in my nightmare? I just want to get out of it. But your subconscious is trying to tell you something. And the only way that it can effectively tell you something is to spark emotion. And what is the strongest emotion that we have? It is fear. So it's not that there's anything trying to attack us or trying to scare us within the subconscious, but the subconscious is being very intelligent in using what it knows will get our attention. Because if there's something that's really impacting our subconscious and we're creating a lot of blockages, and there's something that really needs to be released, your subconscious really, really, really wants to go through a cycle of purging everything it doesn't need and creating a beautiful cycle. So if there's something that hasn't been resolved or cultivated, it's going to try to tell you that through a nightmare. So if you ever have a nightmare or even reoccurring nightmares, that means it's the same issue that's kind of being like pushed on you, like, hey, can we please resolve this? So if you ever experience any nightmares or anything that you consider uncomfortable or fearful, it is a good idea to write it down. Try to decipher what it means just off of the dream. Like, if you didn't have a lucid dream, no problem. Just think, if I was a director and I was creating this as a movie, what would this represent to me? What would this mean? And the first thing that comes to your mind is most likely what it means, because we're using our subconscious. We dreamed of this in our subconscious, right? So that's kind of a way to interpret your own dreams, which is really cool. But the cool thing about lucid dreaming is we can just get lucid and say, hey, what does this represent? I'm a little confused. What does this dream mean? And it will literally just tell you, oh, it actually means this. It actually means that you've had anxiety about this lately, but it needs to be resolved because of this and this. Like, it will literally tell you everything face to face what you need to do. So this totally takes away the belief that we have to really, meditate and really like write out all of our thoughts, which is beneficial. But there is a very vivid way to do that, and it's through lucid dreaming. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? I gotta figure all this out. No, you can just learn lucid dreaming and ask the dream what it's trying to tell you, and be like, okay, when did this fear start? How can I resolve it? Okay, I don't want this anymore. What you're doing by telling your brain, thank you for giving me this anxiety, thank you for giving me this insomnia, but I no longer need it. It's showing that you're bringing awareness to the issue, that you've learned from it, and you're willing to let it go. So that's exactly what you want to do within the lucid dream. It doesn't matter if it's PTSD. It doesn't matter if there's a specific challenge you're going through in your life. You acknowledge it. So I see that I have this. You thank it for being there. Thank you for showing me the lesson that I needed to learn. And then you release it. And this is very, very, very powerful for the brain, because a lot of our issues that take years and years and years to work through, or lots and lots and lots of medication to work through or kind of not think about, we can actually do this a lot of the time in one lucid dream. So it's super, super healing. And yeah, nightmares are a very special thing, because it's the subconscious trying to help you out. Okay, there's something pressing on your energy. There's something you're thinking about. I want to help you release this. So here you go. Here's everything you need to work on. It's basically giving you all the information you need within that one nightmare. So you can be like, thank you. Wow, I didn't even have to search in my subconscious to find out what's wrong. My subconscious brought it to me. And so it's a very intellectual and very intelligent state of consciousness, because it shows that your subconscious is something separate from your physical body. It's a lot more intelligent. Timelines don't exist within lucid dreaming, which means you can find out about your past self, your present self, and your future self. So for instance, I asked to see where I would be in 10 years. You should try that too. It's absolutely incredible. It will actually it will change the dream and take you to where you're going to be in 10 years. And it's very, very, very powerful. And it's been accurate as far as I've used it. I mean, I've been using this for years and years and years, and it has been accurate so far. And especially the people that I've talked to, it's amazing what this can do. And I've actually been using it for manifesting. So I know I've talked about this before as well, but your brain can't, hey Shelly, how's it going? Thanks for joining. So your brain can actually tell if you're dreaming or asleep, right? So if you were to manifest $1,000 in your dream, and you were able to count it, and you were able to smell it, taste it if you want, experience what it's like to have money, that's very powerful for your brain, because again, it thinks it's actually happening. So it's like, oh, I thought we didn't have money, but we're counting $1,000 in our hand right now. Okay, I guess I'm going to rewire the brain to be in the frequency of having instead of being in the frequency of lack. So it's very, very powerful what you do within your lucid dreams, because it will release blockages. It will create a very powerful impact on how you think and live your day-to-day life. So this isn't just dream work. Dream work is very connected to our physical life as well. And we can use that very, very powerfully to change our physical life as well. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Tibetan dream yoga. Dream yoga is using dreams consciously to influence how they feel and think in their day-to-day life, and it's also used for spiritual practice. So as I've told you guys, the lucid dream state is 7 to 9 times more powerful than in the waking state, which means if we meditate for even 5 minutes, it's like experiencing a full 30-day meditation retreat in real life. What if we practiced kindness? What if we practiced, all of these things? Like even doing yoga in the dream, you will actually wake up with the memory of doing yoga and the improved skill. I mean, they've even done sports science studies where they had athletes run, do squats, lift weights, all of these things. They practiced it in their lucid dreams. And when they woke up, not only were they faster at it, but the crazy part is they actually increased their muscle mass, because the brain actually thought that it was acting out that sport. And so you're learning, and you're also building mass by doing that. How crazy is this? Like, this doesn't even sound real, but I promise you guys it is real because I've experienced it so many times in my life, and I still use it all the time, and it has just been a life changer. Your lucid dreams are your coach, your mentor, your friend, your therapist, whatever you want it to be. It is literally everything in one. And so I feel like we really deserve to give ourselves the ability to use these states anytime we want, which is why I help people experience it. It's not just about getting you lucid. It's not just about teaching you how to get lucid. It's about helping you experience this for healing and transformation. And it's super cool because when I talk to clients, I don't say, okay, here's a list of what you can experience and here's a list of what you can't. I literally tell them, awesome, tell me about your goals. Tell me about what you want to experience. What are you wanting to get out of this practice? Do you want less anxiety? Do you want advice on what you're going through in your life? Do you want to, literally anything you want to? It's so crazy. Even if you just want to experience it for fun, that's literally incredible. And so I find out what they want to accomplish through the lucid dream, and then we use that as our foundation. Okay, in order to get you here, we got to get you to remembering your dreams. We got to help you realize when you're dreaming, and then we got to help you control your dreams and influence your dreams, and then we can use them for healing. So I basically walk people step by step on how to induce them themselves, how to rewire their subconscious, how to break limiting beliefs and blockages, and how to receive endless insight from the collective consciousness. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. If you guys care to, I would definitely recommend listening to Charlie Morley's story. He is a Hay House author, and then also Robert Wagner. He has a lot of good books on this topic, and he has experienced tons of physical healing as well. I mean, oh my goodness, this is just crazy, you guys. There's stories everywhere. It's not just from me. There's stories of people using this for healing everywhere. And so I wanted to bring this very ancient Eastern practice and kind of create a modern twist on it so other people can understand it easier, and so they can induce these states as well as at will as well. So if you are interested in talking to me about lucid dreaming, out-of-body experiences, and how you can use it to change, heal, and transform your entire life, definitely feel free to let me know. I mean, I do have a coaching page. It's called the Lucid Mystic Altered State Spiritual Life Coaching, but a lot of people have been actually getting a hold of me on my personal page, so this one that I'm going live with right now. So if you do want to learn more about lucid dreaming or how you can use it, or even get some, techniques and tips on that, definitely shoot me a message because I would love to talk to you about it. And then I do have a few options for you guys. So I do have a video course. It's a 7-part course on how to induce lucid dreams. There's a little bit of the healing aspect in the last video on that, but if you're really wanting to touch base on how to experience healing for your specific needs, I would definitely recommend messaging me, because then we can kind of create a path in order to do that. And then I do have a 30-minute coaching. I have an 60-minute, which is an hour, and then I have a 30-day coaching, which is my personal favorite because that's where a lot of the transformation comes through. Basically, within my 30-day coaching, just in case anyone's interested, we talk for 1 hour a week. So we meet up for an hour a week for 30 days, so 4 times. So 4-hour sessions throughout a 30-day period. And basically what we do the first week is we kind of figure out where you're at. So do you already lucid dream? Do you already remember your dreams? How is your sleep? We kind of figure out where we need to start with your lucidity practice. And then once we figure out where you need to start, that's what our first week is going to be focused on. All right, now we need to get you to remember full vivid dreams and be able to induce them at will. And then we'll work on that. And then it's not just, us talking for that 1 hour a week. We're still talking through Messenger. I'm sending you PDFs. I'm sending you, things that I use every single time, this entire process to learn lucid dreaming, and a lot of the information I still use, like my favorite techniques, my methods, you'll be provided all of that, and we'll take this lucidity journey together. So it's not just me teaching you how to get lucid, but it's us using the lucidity practice together to experience healing together. So if you are interested in that 30-day coaching, or really any of my options, definitely just shoot me a message. And then again, the 30-day coaching is where most of the healing comes in. So our full last meeting together, so our very last hour, so the 4th week of that is totally based on healing. So exactly what you want to experience. I'm going to teach you exactly how to rewire your brain, how to get over your fears, how to get rid of your anxieties, how to get rid of your thought patterns, addictions, habits, how to create positive things you want to put in your subconscious as well. Maybe there's positive habits you want to implement. Maybe there's positive thought patterns or belief systems you want to implement. And so we'll go through all of that. I'll teach you exactly how to do it. So definitely reach out if that interests you. My time is up right now. I've got some stuff to do. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I am definitely going to create a new video for YouTube soon, so watch out for that. It's going to be how to meditate the easy way, because I know there's a lot of issues with trying to meditate or not being able to quiet our mind down, and so I'm going to be creating a video on that so you can find out how to meditate effortlessly, so it isn't just a chore, but it's actually something you enjoy. So definitely let me know if any of that interests you guys. Thank you so much for joining. It is really, really, really amazing. I appreciate it so much. I will definitely be back soon. And yeah, I will see you next time. So love and lucidity as always, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. And for real, make sure to reach out to me if you want to know more about lucid dreaming, because I want to help spread this message. It's something that I use all the time to transform and change my life, and you deserve it too. We all have this ability, and if you're up for it, if you're into it, I'm going to teach you exactly how to do it. So again, thanks guys. I love you so much with love and lucidity.